The third right turn is influence and emotional intelligence. Of the many other leadership skills you will need to learn, influence and emotional intelligence rank high. In the book Emotional Intelligence by Daniel Goleman, he says that emotional intelligence, or EI, is a much bigger predictor of success than IQ. EI is composed of self-awareness, emotional management, self-motivation, empathy, and managing others' emotions. He also said that emotional intelligence skills can be taught and improved. He also cites a number of studies proving emotional intelligence is a more significant predictor than IQ in determining success in life. Namely, EQ accounts for 80% and IQ accounts for 20%. The skills mentioned above focus on intrapersonal and interpersonal skills, and it makes sense that this is a better predictor of success than just IQ when it comes to leaders, because leaders need other people in order to achieve success. I'll highly recommend you read the whole book to gain a better understanding of emotional intelligence as well. Here are my summarized and real-life experiences with emotional intelligence. Self-awareness. You need to know how you are feeling and understand what you need at that moment. Why? Because as a leader, your actions may have a ripple effect on the rest of your team and organization. If you are unaware of how you are feeling, it could affect decision-making and finding solutions. Even leaders have bad days and get sick, which means they may not be performing at their 100%. It takes self-awareness and humility to acknowledge this and make time to allow a more stable period to make the right decisions. I have had bosses who are less self-aware, and the result is that they pass on their stresses to you, when in fact, great leaders find a way to block certain stresses in order to create a more conducive environment for their teams to work. When I was working with new leaders, I noticed that this ability to block stress and pressure was higher with more experienced leaders. A new leader is not as confident, not as sure about how to react to stress and pressure, whereas an experienced one is more confident in their skills. And the higher the position of the leader, the higher the self-awareness should be. Why? Because their words and actions will affect a greater number of people in the organization. Being self-aware also shows the human side of leaders. It shows they are not perfect, that they too are works in progress. The difference is that they are more able to manage higher emotions more calmly. Emotional management. Awareness is the beginning, but it should lead to better management of your own emotions. You cannot manage what you don't see or feel, but awareness alone is not enough. You need to exercise restraint in how you react. The key is to find the most positive way to act in every situation. Some bosses who are not good with emotional management will react negatively, or worse, lose their temper. Organizations should be places of high respect, and so there is no place for extreme negativity, especially in a leader. Another key secret here is to proactively manage your weakness. Most people, even leaders, do not like stress and extreme pressure, and yet, the higher you go, the higher the pressure. Leaders must find positive outlets. If they don't, they bottle up these negative feelings and they can explode. Leader explosions are not a nice sight because they will impact a larger group. One great tip for finding your outlet is doing something you love and enjoy that takes your mind off the work. It's a mental timeout. It can be listening to music, reading a book, meditating, or physical sports such as hitting the gym, swimming, or running. It all depends on you. And if you are aware that times are getting more pressured, increase the time spent on your outlet. I made that mistake when I was a young leader. I thought that the busier you got, the more you had to cut out your outlet. But it was the reverse. And when I learned that secret, I prioritized this time. I learned that it gave me renewed energy, and many times I could solve pressing problems or create innovative solutions just by tuning off for a while. The reason for this is that the part of your brain responsible for vision and solutions is activated when you are relaxed. Self-motivation. As a leader, there is usually no one or few people above you to push you. You have to rely on your own internal motivation to push forward and create the energy that you need to inspire and lead your team. In fact, leaders thrive in this environment of freedom as it fuels them even more. Next is empathy. Empathy allows you to see a situation from another perspective, to walk in someone else's shoes. It is necessary to give a leader the understanding of another's viewpoint of the situation and how it might affect them. I want to touch on the skill of influence here. Influence is defined by Merriam-Webster as, and I quote, "the act or power of producing an effect without apparent exertion of force or direct exercise of command." End of quote. Yes, leaders have power over their followers, but they use influence to get them to follow what they say. People are not machines, and you can't press a button to get them to do what you want. You must convince them, deep down, to want to do what it is you are asking. That is influence. To become influential, however, you need to start with empathy. Followers will do what you ask if they believe in you, if they agree with you. Before you can get them to do that, you need to understand the issue from their side. A great way to develop empathy and influence is to become a leader in a team where the members don't report to you, where you are not responsible for their pay, promotion, etc. Since you don't have any carrots to dangle in front of them, you have to use the skills of empathy and influence to get them to follow you. Another position is one where you are exposed to any customer interaction. Customers won't easily follow you because they don't have to. To win customers over, you have to see things from their perspective, which is empathy, and you have to convince them without dangling carrots, which is influence. In fact, you have to influence them in such a way that they see value for the money they are going to pay you. The best leaders make you feel, in any interaction with them, that not only do they understand you, but they will fight for what you want. Lastly, let's talk about managing others' emotion. The ultimate goal of a leader is to help others in their teams develop and grow. The challenge is how to offer constructive advice and grow someone's confidence at the same time. One of my great mentors and the greatest gentleman, chairman, and CEO I ever met showed me a way to do this. He always praised in public but corrected in private. I remember sitting in tough executive committee meetings where projects or large loans were being approved. The questions were fired like bullets, one after the other, and you needed to be tough and a straight shooter as decisions were being made. However, when it was obvious that someone was not prepared or did not have the answers to the questions being asked, my mentor would say, "Come back when you have the answers." The consequence of your lack of preparation was that your deal or project got delayed, but it also sent a clear message of not yet and not a no. No is final, and when you are seeking approval, it's the biggest blow you can get. Not yet, however, means there is a possibility it can become a yes one day. I have used this with my teams, especially when delivering bad news, such as the fact that you did not get that promotion this cycle. Privacy also gives the person the respect and space to react honestly and gives time to recover and get a hold of one's emotions. I have seen leaders who berate their followers, and it is the most uncomfortable sight to watch. You can feel the extreme tension in the room, and no one wants to work in an environment where that happens regularly. Appreciation is a key motivator for many people. Praising in public gives them that boost, makes them feel their efforts were acknowledged and valued. It makes them feel like they belong, and when someone belongs, they can make those big sacrifices and work through challenges with you. The challenge with emotional intelligence is that it is not taught as a subject in school, like math or economics. It is usually developed by exposing someone to teams and group environments. In fact, usual high achievers, unless they spent a great deal of time working in more collaborative environments, will sometimes find this to be the toughest skill to learn. But with exposure, experience, and practice, you can grow your emotional intelligence as well. It is important to know your inner world, as only by knowing your own inner world can you even venture to help those in your teams to know theirs and to grow. Before you proceed to the next section, please complete the self-assessment. You may want to write down your answers and keep them along with your notes.